Folks, here we go. Bradley is back with something very, very unusual. This is a little bit out of the norm for Bradley, or sorry, I should say Summerlynn This is actually a 1-to-1 scale replica of Freddy Krueger from the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. This is a big one, man. This has been in my closet for 10 years. It is actually a vinyl kit, which is really hard, thick plastic. Not a solid one like resin. There's all kinds of zillions of resin kits out there you can paint. But I used to paint a lot of miniatures back in the day when I was a little more, enthusiastic and stuff, and I was sculpting, and I was basically, that's before I got into landscape painting and stuff. I used to be part of a group which is still in existence here in Minnesota, and I just love miniatures, historical miniatures, horror miniatures, sci-fi miniatures of all different heights and scales. I say heights and scales. And so this is actually a pretty big one. It's actually about 13 inches tall this way, about 8.5, 9 inches this way. And of course from side to side, if I was to turn it like this, it's approximately about 8 inches too. So it's actually 1-to-1 scale. Now, like I said before, I'm going to spin it around as I'm talking here, but I'm going to put my tape measure down because I kind of wanted to give you an idea of what the sheer size of this thing. This is actually a collector's item, folks. You can actually buy tons of these things all over the internet. Model companies that sell miniatures and all kinds of stuff all around the world too. So basically, I've had this thing primed for approximately 10 years, and it's actually been sitting in my closet for 10 years just collecting dust. So I finally revived it, pulled it out, mounted on a painting base, a birch painting base right there, and I decided I'm gonna get my poker. I feel naked without my poker. I kind of showed you a sneak peek of this thing on my last rowing video when I was sitting back further away from the camera, the webcam, and I was kind of showing you what I plan on working on in the future, very near future actually. Like I said, it's already primed, so I can start applying paint to it anytime I want. You know what Freddy looks like in all the movies and his stills and photo ops and all that kind of stuff. He's world famous and he's my hero, of course. I love that. Yeah, so, look at I'm going to spin it around. Look at the detail on this thing. It's beautiful, man. Whoever sculpted this from some major model company or movie prop studio did a great job on it, man. All the detail, all the open lesions and sores are very, very well representative. It is a beautiful kit, man. I'll spin it around here, spin it around. I know you're all going, put Freddy. No, I don't know what I'm talking about. All right, there we go. Look at the back of the head, man. I like the way they did all the detail here. It's beautiful, man. It's like all these open sores and burn marks and on the neck and everything. And actually, this is a sweater down here. So they actually had a part of the sweater sculpted onto the base of the actual neck and everything. So it's actually pretty fucking cool, man. I can't wait to start working on this. I'm kind of tired of working on paintings all the time, so I have to branch out to what I used to do, which was miniatures of all sizes and scales. So like I said, I'm going to be branching out. Like I said, I did a whole bunch of other stuff and with my videos, all my clowns, Penny, Butcher, my rowing videos, and my art videos recently, showing you sneak peeks and stuff like that. But I thought you might want to see this, and like I said, it's just I don't even need this poker. I can do this like a professional. I love the eyes, man. You have to see this thing up close to really appreciate the detail in this entire sculpture. From the neck, his sweater, all the stuff. It's just great, man. His gnarly yellow, bloody teeth. Look at the sneer on this guy's face. You can tell he just hates everybody, man. You would hate everybody too if you were burned alive. When you're, in your house back in Elm Street days, Nightmare on Elm Street days. You would hate everybody too, right? Even though he had it coming, right? He was a murderer, and he's still causing havoc up to this very date. There's going to be some new movies coming out and stuff like that, and Freddy's never gone away. I mean, it's been a while since they did a crappy reboot about 5 years ago, which just sucked. The movie with I think it was some I know what actor it is, but I'm not going to mention his name. He's one of my favorite actors. But they need to bring out Robert Englund back, because he is Freddy Krueger. The hell with all these other actors who think they're going to be Freddy Krueger. There's only Robert Englund was the best Freddy Krueger. I mean, he still promoted himself at all these Comic Cons and all these events around the country and around the world. Him, the cast of all the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, and that's what I like about it, man. Look at the ear. Look at that ear. It's just like half melted off, man. I can't remember who sculpted this, but they put it out as a limited edition vinyl kit. Now, when we're talking about vinyl kits, it's not like solid plastic. It's actually hollow inside, but it's thick plastic on the outside. So you can't wear this like a mask, but you can actually mount it on a base, and millions of people have bought these things, and paint it up the way it looks on all the different movies and stuff. Really gory and bloody and open sores and all kinds of cool stuff, man. I got the light down to about 98, so I think we're doing pretty good here. I wanted to keep this a little bright because it's easier to see all that detail right there. You can see all this detail right there. Isn't that cool? Like I said, you have to see this thing up close and personal in order to appreciate the amount of sculpting and expertise that went into this sculpture. I'm gonna find out who did this. I can't remember, but I used to collect all these type of kits. I have Arnold. I have a 1-to-1 scale Arnold T800. I have an endoskeleton, the T800 endoskeleton. I have a lot of stuff that I've been collecting for 20, 30 years. I never really got to paint. I got them all assembled and everything, but I really never had the time to really paint them because I was working a lot at my job, and basically it's really hard to break away and do stuff when you're come home exhausted from your shitty job, But now that I'm only working one day a week up at that shithole Cub Foods, I can really concentrate on my miniatures now on top of my normal landscape paintings. So, like I said, I'm going to keep branching out. My transition and art videos, I got 5 out so far. They're not exciting, but it just shows me sitting back there talking about my transition and stuff like that, and my supplements and my artwork. I show all kinds of stuff. All right, let's look at that again. Look at that. Oh, a face only a mother could love, right? I love the detail on this thing. I know it looks kind of small when I post this on YouTube, but trust me, folks, it's actually as big as I showed you with my tape measure. It's the size of a human head, So that's what I wanted to do. Get something that actually was lifelike, so to speak. Not a really small one or something like this big or something. I wanted a big one. And this one really fits the bill beautifully because it's just so well done. I mean, can you imagine this all painted? You can actually buy stuff like this completely painted on the internet. Different companies that sell, reproductions and stuff like that of all kinds of different genres. If you want it already painted, you don't want to paint it up yourself. You can buy it. You can buy one that's completely painted up. But wouldn't it be more fun to actually paint it yourself? I mean, that's the whole thing. I think that's far more interesting and far more entertaining. I mean, if you look at the internet prices on pre-painted miniatures, they're pretty expensive. So if you have any artistic ability, it's easier just to buy something like this and slap on the paint yourself. The hell with all these I mean, if you're just a collector, that's fine. But if you like to actually paint, like I do, and do stuff like this, it's more fun to actually, paint it up, and then show it off after you're finished, right? We're up to about 10 minutes. We're gonna go another 7 or 8 minutes. We're not gonna be real long on this particular video because there's really not much more to talk about this thing other than it's just an interesting piece to look at and to consider painting if that's what you're into. Like I said, I used to be part of this one group. I'm not going to mention the name. They may get offended because I left the group in 1995 to pursue my own solo stuff. Miniature painting, sculpting, landscape painting, and all that kind of stuff. And I just wanted to go solo, even though I love those guys. They're still around and they're probably around my age. I just wanted to kind of branch out a little bit. I used to go to shows around the country, like Chicago and stuff, for off and on for about 5 years, and some other local ones down in Iowa. There's shitloads of shows all around the country every year and around the world where you can bring your miniatures in and have them judged by a panel of judges and stuff like that. I mean, all over the world and here in the States, man. Tons of model cars, miniature figurines, model boat enthusiasts, all kinds of stuff. There's crap loads of conventions all over the place, competitions, that you can actually bring your finished work to and see if you can, get a ribbon or something or a medal for your work. See if they appreciate what you did, I used to actually love to go to the Chicago one. I went there 5 times out of maybe 8 years, 10 years. I actually won a couple awards for some of my smaller miniatures, which are probably about half the size of this. I might get back into miniature painting again because I kind of miss that stuff. I used to do a lot of historical, Vikings, historical figurines, Vikings and stuff. Different scales and stuff, 1/8 scale and all kinds of stuff, busts and all kinds of normal. I mean, there's a ton of stuff on the internet you can buy, man. And even join groups in your local state or city and stuff like that. If you want to learn how to paint, they show you how to paint. Go to conventions with them. They show you what's going on at these big old conventions around the country. If you finish your work, you could bring your figurine to that particular convention. Pay the entry fee and see if you can win something. Or maybe an honorable mention. I don't know. It's just fun to do, folks. And it doesn't take much time. But like I said, I got some smaller busts. See my fingers? About maybe 2-3 inches tall, which I might start working on again. Because I just think that right now, even though in the last 10, 15 years, the prices for some of these kits have skyrocketed, really. I mean, even the small ones, which are 2, 3, 5, 4, 5, 6, 7 inches, are really expensive. Like I said, I can't remember what I paid for this one, but I'm sure it was probably in the range of $200, $300, $400 when I bought it. And you probably can still find this on the open market somewhere in some model company that sells this kind of stuff. But like I said, it's expensive. You got to be willing to put the money out, and you don't want to waste your money if you're not going to finish the paint. I mean, you could just collect it. It could be a collector, so to speak. I mean, it's up to you, really. I mean, to me, it's more fun to paint them. I mean, you could have like 20 of these sitting on your on a shelf somewhere, basically not painted. You could just keep them like this if you want, But of course, you're not going to win an award if you want to take this to a convention or something. You've got to actually apply you got to slap some paint on it, man. Make it look real, like Freddy in all those nightmare movies. So, but like I said, now that I'm only working one day a week at Uptown Shitville Cub Foods, basically, now I really have a lot more time to get back into what I really love doing. Landscape painting, which I've been doing a little more, and of course now miniature painting again. So it's really my I love doing that kind of stuff. It's just fun to watch a little figurine come to life when you're painting it up and everything. Some people are into just the model soldiers, paint up real quick and everything. But a lot of people like to put the really heavy detail in on a miniature they just bought, you know. After you clean it up and prime it and mount it on a painting base and stuff like that. And, you know, it's a lot of work involved, but, you know, it's very rewarding once you have the item finished, the figurine completely finished. And that's what I really enjoy. It's a challenge to try to bring this thing to life, you know, with paint. You know, same with the smaller miniatures. And like I said, a lot of people are into all kinds of type of model building, you know, model ships, model cars, you know, all kinds of stuff, planes, you know, all genres of historical figures or horror figures or sci-fi figures. You know, I had a really wide variety of interests in the last 20-30 years. So this is just like some of my interests right here, you know. But I kind of like the other smaller stuff too. Like I said before, I have a whole box full of miniatures in the top shelf of my closet, which I actually am going to start digging through. I was kind of looking at some of the stuff, and I pulled this one out, which is, so it's not scuffed up or nothing. The Arnold, the T800, of course, and of course the stripped down endoskeleton, the 800 T800, without the flesh on it, of course, just the bust, kind of like this, and Arnold's too. There's like two versions. So, you know, I just kind of think that this is more fun to. I love this stuff, man. I mean, like I said, if you saw this thing in person, you go, God, that's really nice, man. It really is nice. It's a beautifully sculpted kit, and it's going to be a joy to paint. Well, to paint it finally after 10 goddamn years, man. I don't know. Like I said before, I was just involved in my stupid job 5 days a week, and I didn't have much time. But in the last year or so, I've been reducing my days all the way down to 1 now. So, like I said, I'm like 98% retired. So now I have more time to really concentrate on my landscape paintings. The smaller miniatures, of course, you know, which are like a quarter of this size. And stuff like that. I just think that is, in my opinion, I was born to be an artist, if you want to call it that, you know, with my own sculptures and paintings and miniatures and landscape paintings, of course. And I just, you know, when I was a kid, I used to draw comic books. I used to buy all kinds of colored pencils and really nice, you know, sketching pads and stuff like that. And, you know, recreate superheroes and stuff on the, you know, I look at a comic book on my, you know, sitting next to me, and I kind of go, I can draw that. It's just something that either you have it in you or you don't. You know, a lot of people are into all kinds of different type of hobbies, which is fine. This is my shtick right here, miniatures and landscape painting, so, and sculpting. I actually sculpted a whole bunch of stuff for the open market, which you don't even know about me. I did backgrounds for like diorama backgrounds, like walls and all kinds of stuff, back when I used to be called Nightwind Productions. Yeah, I've been around, folks, a long time, man, doing all kinds of cool stuff. So let's spin this around. I'm going to shut this video off, and I'm going to start working on this painting in the next few days. Painting, sculpture, duh. And hopefully I should show you an update pretty soon. And by the way, Musty the Clown is completely done. The clown painting, I finished him up about 4 or 5 days ago. I should do a video on that too. Maybe I'll do that tonight too, because I have a little bit of time. I gotta do something tomorrow, so I can't do nothing tomorrow, but I could probably do that Musty tonight. Now, I'm sure you're all sick of seeing that, so you want me to do a video on that one? It's done. I mean, I top coated the final product, the clown painting. Everything is finished. It's time to keep moving on to Valley of the Dead and stuff like that, which I did a sneak peek a few days ago, or last Tuesday or something like that. I don't know. I lose track of time now. Getting old. Cool, isn't that cool? Yeah. Okay. So we'll see you maybe later on tonight with Musty the Clown. I don't know. Until next time, take care, folks, and we'll see you on Nightmare on Elm Street.